I'm excited now to introduce to the floor Juan, the founder of Protocol Labs, IPFS, and Filecoin. Morning, Juan.
Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Juan. I'm a Mexican born and I grew up in I was born and grew up in Mexico. And live in the U.S. I've been all over the world, and I'm super excited about the potential both in Argentina and with a lot of the cities that Janine just mentioned. Um, Plus, I'm really excited about the potential for crypto to give the world a much better economic infrastructure. I want to share my screen. So what I want to do is just go through the vision of Crecimiento at a high level and walk through the opportunity that we have in front of us and kind of where this whole project came from. So this is, you can think of Crecimiento as a big call to action to visionary founders and dreamers, especially from Argentina, but also who admire the country and who see the opportunity that we're seeing. This is a really critical moment. So you can think of the Argentinian economy as having been plagued by a whole host of bad decisions over decades. There is extreme inflation. There's lots of depreciation over long periods of time. The infrastructure doesn't work for everybody. Lots of people are moving money in and out, and there's a real tremendous opportunity right now with a big shift in the political structure and political landscape to build a much better infrastructure for Argentinians to seize that moment and build a much better critical infrastructure for themselves and for other people there. Many of the kind of existing solutions have not solved the huge problems that people have. You can think of lots of things that Argentinians need, everything from like the basic the basic factor of currency of being able to hold value, to be able to use it to exchange for services and goods and so on. Like that critical basic infrastructure is not working for them. At the same time, there's all kinds of other basic infrastructure that works really well in the rest of the world. Things like basic loans, basic mortgages, things like business loans and so on. All of these systems do not work nearly as well as they should for an economy at the scale of Argentina and as vibrant as Argentina is. And of course, there's like insufficient, really bad capital landscape in terms of being able to support new technologies and new startups and so on. The world over the last 50 years has become primarily an information economy, and Argentina does not have the capital structures in place to be able to develop in the same way as other parts of the world. And so you can think of the really critical opportunity that we're seeing in this moment is that crypto can enable Argentina to leapfrog a lot of the rest of the world by building for itself a strong economic infrastructure based on smart contracts, based on blockchains, based on crypto. Already, crypto adoption is huge in Argentina. Lots of people are familiar with using and holding crypto. And really the next step is to build the basic tools that most Argentinians need, but using these new superpowers. Already, and I guess to make it super concrete, like from the basics of establishing a currency that people can use to enabling Argentinians to transact and move value to the currencies that they think they need, to setting up the basic financial infrastructure. So everything from, again, basic payday loans to business loans, house mortgages, and so on. Property registries, being able to buy and sell property, things like houses and land and so on. All of this kind of structure can be built through in terms of crypto applications. And one of the things that I think is potentially most valuable is to build a capital infrastructure to help support businesses and startups in Argentina. What's really amazing and exciting about Argentina is that Argentina has so many amazing crypto founders already. There's lots of Argentinians who have seen the opportunity, have lived through all kinds of current financial and economic struggles, and see and recognize the potential of crypto, and have already been building amazing opportunities and amazing businesses. A sad part is that most of these have to happen out. Many of these happen outside, or where the founders have had to move to other places because the existing infrastructure just cannot support them. So the really amazing opportunity right now is, can we double down on the success that all of these amazing Argentinian builders have built, bring together the talent, bring together the ideas, bring together the problems and solution space, and try and create a whole generation of startups in Argentina, for Argentina, by Argentinians, to build that critical infrastructure there. So we think of putting together a community of builders that can figure out this problem space and can think of potential solutions, and then form projects that might turn into companies to develop a lot of these critical components that Argentina needs. And we want to do that through this kind of by creating an environment that can create a very fertile ground for startups to form. We've had a lot of experience with this. I guess a little bit about our background. I run Protocol Labs, an organization that's been helping build hundreds of startups in the last 5 years. We've seen a lot of the crypto space grow and develop. We mentor and support founders from the earliest stages, from the moment where they're just thinking about potentially creating a company, to forming companies, to growing them, and so on. Separately, many of us have been involved in a lot of the new cities and new projects that are kind of creating new economic structures and new gathering structures. So we think that there's something of very high potential here to create an environment where we can bring together a lot of the people to think through these problems in Argentina, to talk to everyday people there about what are the core critical problems that need to be solved for them, and then design and develop products to then deploy them and diffuse them across the country, and that way bootstrap the economy into a much better structure. And the way that we think of doing that, and kind of the opportunity over the next couple of years, is to use a pop-up city to ignite innovation, to kind of bring together a critical mass of talent, energy, ideas, support, capital, and so on. So bring together that critical mass. In that moment, use that to form projects, teams, and coordinate with capital. And then after that, establish a set of growth and support structures. I'm going to kind of each of these a little bit. These pop-up cities have been extremely successful at sparking movements already around the world. These tend to be fairly small efforts initially. You can think of a couple hundred people coming together and creating talent density that ends up creating a whole range of projects and products out of them. And so we want to use that format, that pop-up city structure, to catalyze a lot of people coming together in the same moment in time to make extremely fast progress. The thing that I find extremely attractive about these pop-up cities is that they have an amazing culture. This is kind of like being able to create like a Silicon Valley kind of environment out of nowhere for a period of time. And so these pop-up cities can create that moment, and if it's successful, it can then persist and kind of become a strong hub that continues. And so that's what we envision for Crecimiento. The second, we've seen an enormous amount of success through innovation networks, where you can think of organizations like YC or Protocol Labs as building systems and structures to support builders and founders and companies and investors and so on in the process of building startups. So building startups is not a mystic field anymore. The whole world has sort of turned it into a science in the last 20 years. We know all kinds of structures that work to help support founders and builders in that environment. And we think that based on the lessons that we've learned over the last 5-10 years, plus all the lessons that organizations like YC and many others around the world have learned, we can help bootstrap that kind of environment in Argentina. Now, of course, a critical piece here is that this environment is built by Argentinians there. So you can think of a big part of the first moment in this entire movement is to kind of gather together the critical mass of Argentinians that are interested in developing and building this kind of startup environment and startup hub, and building that from the ground up with them. And then from there, you can think of doubling down on that by establishing long-term growth and support structures. So everything from figuring out how to support the startups over time, how to support the people, how to support the development and the growth of talent. There's thankfully today with the internet, we can leverage all kinds of extremely useful learning infrastructure around the world to help support the growth of all the builders. So yeah, we're here today, and that brings me to the end of this. I'll hand it back to you, James.
Amazing. Thank you very much indeed, Juan. Super exciting discussion.